she don't care what you think. Granniopteryx, granniopteryx, she knows the truth, she's linking every link.
Hello. Whenever I'm a bit down, I like to play a video featuring Kehinde Andrews, who is this guy here, or sometimes I'll have a look at a video featuring that Shola woman. I've forgotten her second name. Anyway, she's got a hairdo that looks like somebody tipped a plate of spaghetti on her head. I'll find a photograph of her and I'll put it up there, so those of you who are unacquainted with the lady will know that I'm not exaggerating. Okay, but meanwhile we're with Kehinde Andrews. Now, there's this discussion about people flying the Union flag and the St George's Cross, and Kehinde Andrews, of course, says that both of these are bad. And they found somebody here, another brown man, so they're not accused of any sort of racism or a racial bias or whatever. They've chosen him to tell everybody that he thinks that the Union flag and the St George's Cross are a good thing, or can be a good thing anyway. And what interested me when I've heard bits of this, I haven't heard all of it, so maybe I will be yet surprised, is the difference in the accents of these two men, because they're both born and bred in Britain. And yet, well, I'll let you make up your mind about them for yourselves. I'm Granniopteryx. Please click that like for the video, please share it. Please subscribe to my channel, of course. And if you want to contribute financially, as I keep reminding people, if you're a newcomer here, you won't know that I waste every penny of it on looking after my horses, one I ride and one rescue. And so you'll be glad to know that the money is going to completely pointless use. They're large poop tubes, grass in one end, poop out the other end. And that's it. That's where my pound notes go. We don't have pound notes anymore, do we? Right, let's get on with this.
The St George's and Union flags have been co-opted by far-right groups.
Okay, so they use the word far-right all the time. It's like there's a programme trying to put the word far-right into our heads. For ordinary people are far-right. And they're just pushing this. So this is a bit of propaganda for all that it's supposed to look like a discussion. And this presenter here, my goodness me, does she remind me of a nursery school teacher?
Union flags have been co-opted by far-right groups. Is it?
Is it? Yeah, oh, look at that. I like the dress.
In fact, provocative or patriotic?
Yeah, let's put this very slowly and simply so that you, the idiot viewer, can understand me.
Well, we're joined now by Kehinde Andrews, Professor of Black Studies at Birmingham City University.
So the name is pronounced Kehinde. It's spelt Kehinde. OK, well, I'll say Kehinde in deference to the nursery school teacher,
who said it is provocative, and the St George's Cross has become a symbol of racism.
Right, she's priming the pump. I hope you noticed that.
While race, culture and identity writer Dr. Rakib Hassan says we should be proud of our flag. Let me come to you first of all, Kehinde. What is wrong with displaying the Union flag?
Right, let's start off by saying, Kehinde, what's wrong with the flag? Not, Kehinde, why do you find the flag wrong? Has it occurred to you that you might be wrong? No. What's wrong with the flag? Do tell us all what's wrong with it.
or the St George's Cross in a patriotic way, even if some far-right groups have co-opted.
Oh, and let's bring in the far right, just to remind everyone that the flag is soiled. Far right, yeah, everybody's far right. From Douglas Murray onwards. Okay.
Because isn't it about then reclaiming that flag from...
Oh, just a minute. I saw a trigonometry thing where, what's his name? Konstantin Kissin was at some sort of a rally and he was trying to interview the pro-Palestine people, and one of them said they don't talk to the far right. That's Konstantin Kissin. Ah, right.
Well, I think this is the problem. It's not that the far right have co-opted the flag. It's the fact that we don't seem to understand what this country is and the history of these symbols.
No. He would like us not to understand what this country is because he wants to pull it to pieces and reassemble it in his image.
So both of these flags which you've displayed here, those are the flags which flew on ships which enslaved my ancestors.
Yeah, they flew on ships which freed your ancestors.
Those are the flags which the British Army marched into places like India.
They marched into places like India, stopped the practice of sati, that is the murder of the wives of the murder of the widows of their dead husbands, and gave them a railway system and a bureaucracy which has enabled them to become a large unified country or conglomeration of states, instead of a set of little warring principalities.
Pakistan, Bengal, Africa, and colonised 25% of the world.
They colonised 25% of the world. Do you know how big Britain is? I mean, it's smaller than Wyoming. It's like, something like a quarter of the size, hang on, a quarter of the size of Texas. Hang on, I'm just going to find, I'm sure there must be a map somewhere comparing them. Just pause for cut. Yeah, this is great. So all of these states here are bigger than Britain, and by quite a way. Alaska, there's Britain there. Can you see it? What's that? Texas. Yep, Texas. California, there's Britain. Montana, there's Britain. Arizona, New Mexico, Nevada, Colorado, Wyoming, Oregon, Michigan. Britain is tiny, and as, how do we pronounce his name? I've forgotten. Kaihendi. Ah, got it. Kaihendi Andrews says, it marched in and made an empire out of 25% of the globe. Is that not a remarkable thing? Why should that be a cause of shame? That's how people did things up to the 19th century. They had empires, and Britain's empire was huge. Right.
The reason the far right picks up these flags and has consistently since the 60s.
There's the far right again. I should do a count of how many far rights they come in this. But you see, this is the whole point. People who are watching this, they may disagree with Kaihendi Andrews or the other guy when he comes on. They may disagree with them. They may think that woman in the yellow dress has the demeanour of a nursery school teacher, but they're hearing the word far right all the time, and that's the important bit of the message. You're just hearing far right, far right, far right the whole time. That's what's being burnt into your brain. So it's going in whether, I say it or they say it. I just want you to be aware of this particular mind virus that's being inoculated into your head.
70, since my parents' generation have been in this country, is because these flags...
His parents were in this country. He was brought up in this country. He was educated in this country, and yet he has an odd accent. If I heard him talking, I'd think, well, this is somebody who's been here for a long time, but he grew up somewhere else. He has an accent. Now, that's not possible. He's lived here his whole life. So I believe he's cultivated that accent so that he will sound different, because he doesn't want to be part of this country. You'll hear the difference when you hear the other chaps speak.
Present the racism which they are putting out into the world. And I would just point out this.
The racism which they are putting out into the world. What's that mean? What an insult. Britain is not putting racism out into the world. Most of the racism I've seen in the world is coming from brown cultures now.
Shoot to kill! Come on, sir! Shoot to kill! Come on, sir! Kill the brewer, the farmer! Kill the brewer, the farmer! Pa! Pa! The satanic Jews!
Present the racism which they are putting out into the world. And I would just point out, this is not some benign, oh, let's just be patriotic.
This is a reaction to the Palestine flags and the Pakistan flags and the Black Lives Matter flags and the rainbow flags and all the other flags that people on demonstrations seem to like to wave about instead of the British flag. It's a reaction to that.
Go and search, Operation Raise the Colours, and you'll find the same far-right, Little England.
There's the far right again.
This nonsense spewing about all the migrant hotels. It's all this.
Spewing nonsense about the migrant hotels. It isn't nonsense. It's a genuine worry. But of course, from his point of view, anyone who notices the demographic change that's being imposed on the British people by an occupying government, that's bad, because we're not supposed to notice that. All we're supposed to notice is far right.
That's what that's about. People aren't putting up this flag to celebrate Britain. They're putting up this.
Oh yes, they are. But he doesn't want any celebration of Britain, of course. That's not in his professional interest. He makes a living out of hating Britain.
Flag to remind us that Britain is white and we shouldn't be here.
Now, I don't see why those flags should be a reminder that Britain is white and he shouldn't be here. I don't think he should be here, but for a completely different reason. The British flag is actually a combination of the flags of three kingdoms. There's the Irish flag, which is the flag of St. Patrick, which is a red saltire going diagonally. And there's the Scottish flag, which is the flag of St. Andrew, which is a white saltire going diagonally. And they're superimposed. The St. Patrick's flag is superimposed on the Scottish flag, and then over that is the cross of St. George. It's just a combination of the flags of three kingdoms. It's nothing to do with being white, it's to do with the kingdoms.
Well, I think in my view there's many reasons why we should be proud of British identity.
Now, you hear this fellow, close your eyes, you wouldn't know anything about his cultural background at all, would you? And that's because he was born here, he was brought up here, he was educated here, and he has integrated into British society. They seem to be about of an age, and they were both brought up in Britain, and yet one has adopted what sounds like a sort of non-English accent, and the other one has just become part of British society.
We should celebrate expressions of English pride. If I just speak from a personal perspective, I think that Britain has a rich tradition of religious freedom.
It has, and I'm judging from his name, which is, I think, a Muslim name. And so I'm assuming that his family are from a Pakistani background. I could be wrong there, but it doesn't really matter. In Pakistan, for instance, there have been many well-documented cases of people being accused of, I don't know what, disrespecting Muhammad or disrespecting the Quran, and immediately whole crowds of people pile in and beat the accused person, no trial, no chance to speak or anything. They just beat them to a pulp. And then there's that woman, I'm sorry, I've forgotten her name. She was a Christian woman, and she was accused of drinking out of a cup that was reserved for Muslim field workers, something like that. She spent, I don't know how long in jail, 7, 8 years in jail under sentence of death, until finally the despicable British government got her out of there, wouldn't take her into Britain and sent her off to Canada. I hope she's living a good life there. A despicable, lily-livered British government. Yeah, that's an example of lack of religious tolerance. And in Britain, there's always been, you get people who dislike each other. You get Catholics who hate Protestant, you get Protestants who hate Catholics, you get both of them hating Jews, you get people who hate black people or Pakistani people or whatever, but they generally tend to keep it to themselves. There are no unruly mobs. Well, not until the pro-Palestine people started taking over the street, of course.
I also think that compared to other European countries, it fares much better in terms of anti-discrimination laws for its minorities. So I think the point to make is that people relate to the flags very differently. But if I just talk about my personal experience, I've lived in Luton all my life, so I can understand why for some people the St George's Cross flag, it can come across as quite intimidating and menacing, because the English Defence League, the EDL, was born in my hometown. But I actually think that when I see ethnic minority people...
But the EDL was closed down in his hometown as well, because it didn't start as a racist enterprise. It started as a pushback against Muslim fanatics spitting at British soldiers.
200 soldiers from the 2nd Battalion, the Royal Anglian Regiment, marched through the centre of Luton, welcomed home by thousands, but also along the route of protest. Muslim demonstrators with placards and anti-war slogans. One chant, British soldiers go to hell. The parade continued, but after the soldiers had passed, there were more angry scenes as the demonstrators were shouted down. Many who'd come to welcome the regiment and support the parade felt the demonstration should not have been allowed.
Demonstration, disgusting, absolutely disgusting.
If they've got something to protest about, there's a time and a place for it. Get a petition, go to Downing Street. These guys are just doing a job for their country.
That's when it started. And then when it started to attract some not very nice people, racists, it was closed down. So again, there is the EDL is a wonderful example of British tolerance in its way.
Expressing pride in their Britishness, celebrating their sense of belonging in England. I think that's the perfect antidote, a great counter-challenge to far-right activity and those groups.
I'm going to stop it there. I could go on forever with these two. The self-satisfied grimace of this fellow and the logical consistency of this chap. I think you've probably seen enough. Also, you've heard enough. And just be aware of the fact that this programme has been used by Good Morning Britain as a means of pushing the words far right into your brain. I'm quite sure that Dr. Ehsan is there in good faith. I'm not so sure about this chap here, Kaihinder Andrews, or however his name's pronounced. I'm not so sure about his good faith. But I do know that the whole general thrust of the programme is really there to remind you of the words far right. So I want you to resist those words. When you're aware of propaganda, it's less easy for it to actually get into your subconscious. Okay, till next time. You can help my channel by subscribing and clicking the notification bell. That's quite important. And by sharing if you're so inclined. Links to my other channels and to donation methods are in the description. But the best way you can help is simply by clicking like and notify. Thank you.